All right, Tatiana.
Yes.
Tatiana, where are you from originally? Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in San Fernando Valley, right in the city of Pacoima and North Hollywood.
Hmm. Tell me about your family. You had mom and dad?
I do have a mom and dad. I was raised by my grandmother and my aunt mostly, which is my mother's youngest sister. Those are my parents right there.
Really? What happened to your mom and dad?
My mom and dad they separated, and when my stepfather got custody of me and my brothers, he had given me the opportunity to ask if I wanted to go live with him or did I want to stay with my mom, my grandmother, and my aunt at that time. And obviously, I used to love going to my grandmother and my aunt's house every weekend, no matter what. And I decided to choose them and stay with them. So my brothers went with my father, and I stayed behind with my grandmother and my aunt.
How old were you?
I was like exactly 10 years old when they asked me that.
Hmm. And were there signs that you were different than your brothers?
Yeah, a little different. Yeah, I always thought it was just another typical gay boy thing, but I didn't discover this until like later on in my years of my life.
How old are you now?
I am 32.
32. And you kind of became trans at what age?
At the age of 26, exactly.
You feel like you were born this way, or you feel like something happened to you when you were young?
It was something I was born with. I just didn't realize it until the following year. I didn't discover the reason why I wanted to be a woman, and the reason why was because I was raised by women only, and a lot of very strong women. I just I didn't realize it until the last strong woman in my family passed away this year, a couple months
And the
ago.
women that raised you accepted that you're
I
being
never
gay?
gave them the chance to. They died before they could get the chance to even give me the opportunity to show them. I was too scared. I didn't know how they could accept it. They were very, very strong Christian women. So in Christianity, it's like a little harder for me to explain to them and make them understand if it was a God or not. But I wouldn't know. I never gave them the chance.
You're Hispanic,
Yes.
so that makes it even harder, I think.
Yeah, that does make it a little harder.
The culture doesn't
Yeah.
accept this as much as maybe others.
Yeah, most other cultures, especially in Latino cultures, we mothers are all about like their boys are the macho ones, and they're all like the ones that take care of the family. But they didn't never realize that there was no men in our family to take care of them. So what macho ness do we have to perpetrate? If they were the ones that were the macho ones,
Right.
if they were the ones taking care of the family.
Currently, you're living on the streets?
Yes, I am currently living on the streets.
What part of town?
In the part of Studio City and North Hollywood, which is on Violin and like Aqua Vista,
Hmm.
around that area.
You're staying under a bridge?
Yes, I am.
And you've been doing this for how many years?
About approximately 5 years already.
And tell me about that lifestyle.
The lifestyle is hard. It's very hard to adjust, especially in the beginning of it. But it is a little bit. I won't lie. It is relieving, and it's it feels free. Like you're able to do anything you want, anytime you want, no matter what rules are around. There's no rules around. But honestly, it is exhausting. It's sometimes to live by day, bread by bread. It's very exhausting. Like not to expect to either you're gonna eat tomorrow, you're not gonna eat tomorrow. Choose to eat tomorrow or choose not to eat tomorrow.
How do you survive? How do you generate money?
Thank God for there's a lot of government programs out there that help us with any type of income like GR and food stamps, and then I go to the food banks of the churches around town, and they'll give out food and stuff too.
A lot of the trans women that I've interviewed, um, they'll make money.
Oh, the that way? No,
You don't do that.
never. I've been told a lot by my sisters that they do that. I I don't think I ever want to ever do that to myself. Even as a boy, I never did it. I would never do it because it's like if I want to be a woman, I want to be respected as a woman, not as a sex image object to them. And my mother and my grandmother never showed themselves that way to my father and my grandfather. I mean, that's the only reason they got married. So to me, I would never ever do that. It never crosses my mind. Occasionally, I won't lie. Yes, I take it back. It has crossed my mind a couple of times because it sees how easily it could be done. But again, I would not want to disrespect myself that way.
And emotionally, what do you go through living this life?
Emotionally, I go through a lot of stress and a lot of depression. I recently just gave up my baby girl right now, my dog. So it's very, very hard to cope with that because you really want to have a companion like a dog with you because it's like they understand and they listen to you. Even though they can't talk back, they're good listeners. And but then yet again, they don't deserve a life like the way we have it right now, especially for them. And if we love our companions, we'll give them whatever the best we can. And honestly, giving her up for adoption was the best I could do.
Do you have friends?
I have a key. I have a lot of friends. I won't say they're friends that I could keep forever. I mean, friends come and go.
Just people on the streets?
Yeah, people on the streets. We never know when one person disappears on us and either dies from a drug overdose or they go to prison. That's the only reason why I say that, yeah, I have friends that come and go, but I do have my family, my street family out here. We're weak, but we're strong in heart. But yeah, that's all pretty much. Yeah.
Are drugs a part of your life?
Yes, drugs are a part of my life. I won't lie about that. They are a very, very big part of my life. And it sucks sometimes when they are controlling my life.
Is that crystal meth?
Yes, it is crystal meth.
Such a popular drug right now.
I know. I think the whole world is starting to really start to do it now more than just the people on the streets. It's just crazy.
Do you have goals for yourself? Do you like to?
I have goals for myself. One goal is to get off the streets. Two, maybe get a job again. I know I could get a job instantly if I put myself out there again. I went to school and everything, so I have the knowledge and the certificates and the degrees to get to any type of job that I want.
Is it harder being trans, trying to get a?
I've never tried it as a trans. That's the thing. I was always scared of the. I really am paranoid. I already get paranoid and anxiety from the judgment that people give me on the streets, just by walking by somebody and having the eyes being stared at me. It might be much more harder for me to cope with it when at work. Like, how would my coworkers feel with it? How would the customers feel about it? Because I always worked at a company that involved customer care and like one-on-one interaction with a customer, like a bank. So I don't know if the bank will ever see that type of image, like an image for them. You get me?
Is this a lonely lifestyle for you?
It is, because honestly, then that's when I started living the world as a boy, and the day and the night as a girl, and that's when it started to mess with my mind a lot.
Are you a woman all day now?
Yes, that's the only good thing about me being on the streets now is that I get to live the life that I want to live fully. I don't have to go home to my parents' house and hide this image because I don't know how they're going to take this image. And honestly, my parents, I already told everybody at my grandmother's funeral this image. And everybody seemed to take it where they're like accepting more. And it was only my grandmother's opinion that I was so scared of taking it bad. Because if she would have told me, I don't accept it, you need to be a boy, I will do it for her. Even though I would be miserable, but I will do it for her.
Are you happier now?
I am super happy that I'm who I am but it just sucks that I don't have the one person I wish I could share it with.
Do you feel misunderstood?
Yes, a lot.
Do you get any rough things that happen to you being trans on the street?
Oh yeah, I've been sexually and physically abused a lot, thinking that in my mind now, I put my mind as a woman that if a man beats the crap out of me, that it's like I can't defend myself. And it sucks because like if I defend myself, then the man remembers that I also have in between my legs something that they have as well, and then they take it to the point where it's no longer a woman being beaten up; it's a man now, in their mind. And we are put so much down that we need to become a woman, and so a woman is weaker to a man's fight. And it sucks because it gets to my mind too that I had to show my weakness, and even though I know I'm stronger, I can't, because then I recognize myself that's not as the woman that I portrayed all the time.
You feel like society is starting to accept trans people more?
Oh yes, I mean, I think our community is accepting it a lot. I don't know how many trans girls that I've never met ever on the streets, even trans women, trans men, the ones that go from female to male. There's one that works at the 7-Eleven down the street from me. And we always say hi to each other, and it's weird how we tell each other we were born in we were born in the wrong sex, but it's crazy how how we wish we could trade our spots together. And yeah, I see a lot more of the trans community out there in the community in working communities that I've never thought ever in my life. I thought that I'd see the trans ever until I became one. I started seeing who was an actual trans in the world. It was hard. I could never had told. I would never had noticed.
What is your greatest strength? What's your favorite quality about yourself?
I am very, very creative.
Creative?
Like, yeah. So when it comes to like a certain situation, I can always come up with the best results of the best strategy to come up with the best result at the end. Even though everybody never wants to listen to me and no one ever does it, I somehow get my push in there somehow in their part of the world where they don't even notice that I still did it, even though they think they did it. I guess it's a manipulative way in a good form. Like if I know that I'm a good manipulator, but I mean, I do it in a way where it's not going to harm the other person, not myself either.
What is your dream situation to be in 5 years?
I want to be a mom. I think so. I think if it's possible for me to have a kid, I probably would want to have a kid because I guess it's like having street kids, which I do, and having my pets as a mom by myself, and not even having a boyfriend or a husband at the time of having these people in my life. I think I could just be a mom by myself. And I don't know, maybe 5 years from now, hopefully I'll have everything stable and steady. And maybe I want to adopt one instead of having one.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that would be confusing for the young boy or young girl?
No, because I will always put it out there in the beginning of my child's life that no matter what, I'm always his mom. Never mistaken that. Just because you see something that is similar to us, I'm always going to be your mom. Just like that. My mom was my father. My grandmother was my father. My aunt was my father. They were all my father and my mother, no matter what. Like, even though my mom, she's a lesbian. She's what portrays a masculine lesbian. And I see her as my mother still. I don't see her as my father. Even though she looks like a boy, dresses like a boy, but she doesn't want to be a boy. But to me, that's still my mother no matter what. And that's who I see right there.
What kind of jobs have you had?
I was a manager and a supervisor throughout every job that I had. I started off at CVS. I worked for them for like about 7 years, from the age of 16 to the age of 23. And then I went from there to another company, worked there for 4 years as a store manager. And then I went to another company, a loan office, where I started working with finance and a bank and everything. That was the last job I ever had. Was pretty much in
How
a
many
loan
years
office.
ago was that?
That was in 2021.
So a couple of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
What's keeping you from working now? Is it the drug problem?
Yeah, it would probably be the drug problem.
All your other homeless friends are probably in the same boat with drugs.
Probably, yeah. I don't, never ever do I say I'm ever starving or am I drained of no food or anything. I can always somehow come up with it and provide for myself at any time. Especially not just for myself, but for everybody in the community, whoever's there with me that day. I'm not just gonna go in the store and be like, "Oh, what am I hungry for?" But no, I call everybody, and be like, "What do you guys want? I want something. I'll get you guys something right here."
Are there places you can go, missions that will feed?
Yeah, there's a lot of the churches in our community right there in North Hollywood and Studio City. They do a lot of the lunches and the breakfast in the morning. Not a lot of people do a lot of night things around our neighborhood, but I mean that's when you go to like downtown LA and they do night ones out there. But that's a little too far. By then we already had eaten enough for us to have food in our stomach. But I always like to cook at my spot anyways.
Mm-hmm. What would you say is your biggest fear now?
That one day I'll meet the wrong person that doesn't accept this type of lifestyle and I won't end up coming back from it. That's one of my biggest fears.
You think it's dangerous for you?
Yeah. I live day by day in a dangerous world because one day one guy might not think this through and might be confused and might take it upon himself to either hurt me very, very bad and I don't come back from it and I didn't get to finish the rest of my life the way I wanted to, all because of a little situation like that. That's what I'm afraid of every day.
Have you been in love before?
Yes, I have. About 2 times in my life.
And what happened there?
My first love was my first boyfriend in high school. 7 years of going through that misery was a lot for me. The second one was the guy I actually did this for. I actually dressed up for a guy because I met him online. I won't lie. And he was only into trans or cross-dressers or the feminine boy. And I was nothing like that. So when I met him, I fell in love with his intelligence, his charisma, and who he was. And that's who I wanted to be. I was like, that's who I should have married. That's who I should have been with. But obviously he's not going to see me in any form other way but a friend. So I had a trans friend at the time, and I asked her, I need you to turn me into one of you as quick as possible, as less surgery or any type of form. Just do what you got to do. And so she did. She transformed me into someone that I was like, who the hell is this in the mirror? But when I saw it, she saw my face, and she's like, you like it, huh? I'm like, I do. I don't know why. It was just weird and it was exciting. Like I liked it. Like I don't know, dressing up like that was for the first time was very, very intense. And then now I just do it now for myself every day. I don't do this for no one else but myself, and I don't care what people say about me or what people think about me. Um, it's not them who I'm trying to impress. If I go out looking like the way I want to go out looking like, and I feel confident about it, then I'm good. But I know there are still the judgments out there, and there's always going to be judgment out there. But who are they? They're not my creator. They're not the ones that made me who I am, and they're not the ones that are going to make me who I am in the future.
Have you had surgeries?
No. Oh, but not for the transitional part.
That's what I mean.
Huh? Yeah.
Right, in
No, no,
attempts
no.
to be more feminine.
No.
No hormones?
Not yet. I have gotten on the schedule already to get to that part, but I have to go through therapy again and figure out if this is a true, like a real for sure thing. Because once you start, you don't want to stop, And if you stop and then you start, like, it's just gonna, the hormone balance in your body system is gonna start messing with your mind, and it's not a right thing to do to your head at all. So I think I should go back to therapy and go through that process again, make sure that this is the right decision that I'm making. Because honestly, like, as a girl, I ended up on the streets. I lost a lot of family members, lifetime, because I wasn't really there. As a boy, I was always there with my family. I was there 24/7. I was all about my family and just them. But as a girl, I'm all about myself and me. And I feel as a girl, I'm selfish or selfless. But it sucks because it's like the one thing that I loved the most was being a family person. I love being there for my family. But I can't be there for my family and then be miserable in the inside of it. I always like to be happy, at least for once in a while. And I chose to be happy for once in a while. And now I don't see what's so happy about this. But I am happy. I don't know why. It's hard to explain to why I'm happy. Even though I'm in my situation where I'm on the streets, no job, no money, nothing.
You're free.
But I'm free. I'm free to be who I am. And that's what makes me happy.
Mm-hmm. Tatiana, what would you say is the most important lesson you've learned in your life?
Don't take life for granted, I guess. It's like, don't, just because you are trying to make the world happy does not make you happy. You need to make yourself happy the most. And that's my one thing, is about everybody being happy, not being miserable, no negativity, nothing like that. And maybe this world wouldn't be the way it is if everybody just smiled and be happy and actually be themselves.
All right. Tatiana, thank you so much for sharing your story.
No problem. Thank you.
I wish you lots of luck out there. Thank you.